Have you ever watched a creative idea and wondered how in the world did this become so popular? Do you sometimes catch yourself humming the tune of a recent song over and over again? Or have you ever replied to a question with the catchphrase from an old ad campaign? If you have done one or all of the above, this is the show for you. On How Did This Become a Thing, we take a closer look at why an idea or a thought that seems small, harmless, inane even, becomes such a huge hit. Do communication officials have some insight into the human psyche that we ourselves don't? Why do we sometimes remember an ad from years ago, but not what we ate for breakfast? Answers to all this and more. Join us every week on a TIC original podcast, How Did This Become a Thing? The year was 2004. On the screen, in front of a blingy set, a director known in Bollywood for his tearjerker, larger-than-life family dramas, stepped on stage to host a show that he called Koffee with Karan. Yes, coffee spelt with a K. Karan Johar, the host of the eponymous show, thought he was hosting a simple chat show with his friends from the industry. Bollywood stars he had worked with, fellow directors, A-list friends he had met at parties. But little did he know his voyeuristic peek into Bollywood was what Indian television was missing. The format of the talk show was simple. He welcomes his guests and starts talking about their latest movies, then a smooth segue onto their personal lives, and then end with now famous rapid fire round, which he insists must be rapid and full of fire. The show has been on for 17 years, and in all this time, it has seen controversy after controversy. First, and perhaps the most well-known of all controversies to hit the Bollywood industry, was the nepotism episode. Yep, the one where Kangana Ranaut called Karan Johar the torchbearer of nepotism. This should have ended with the episode's credits, but it is still talked about today. Or when an appearance on his show and a few less than desirable comments got two rising cricketers banned from 2 ODI matches. As Karan Johar likes to say about his own show, whether you watch it as your guilty pleasure or you watch it ironically, there is no denying the sheer power of the show. So why is Koffee with Karan a thing? We spoke to writer, editor and pop culture aficionado Saraswati Dattar to know more.
I think what really works for Coffee with Karan is the fact that A, it's an informal chat show. B, this is a chat show where, it's not a journalist interviewing celebrities, but essentially a celebrity interviewing celebrities, or celebrities speaking to his close personal friends. These are people whom he has a long personal history with, or they are, close professional colleagues whom he has done a lot of work with over the years. So it's the whole atmosphere of the show is far more candid and casual than we otherwise see. Because the vibe is casual, I think Karan is able to cajole them and charm them and actually get these friends of his to say things that they would not normally say in another interview or on any other platform, right? They're allowed to really hang out with him in that sense. They're drinking coffee, they're dissing an ex-boyfriend, they're calling out someone on their fake accent. So these are really, these are just regular people in that sense having a conversation. The only thing being is that this is a conversation between 3 people that we would never have access to otherwise. So that fly on the wall factor, that we are being allowed to listen in on this conversation between 3 famous people, in itself is a huge factor, I think, in the show's enduring popularity. Another reason I feel that the show has done well is that there is a certain cathartic value to it. I think watching the show has, kind of makes us feel good about ourselves, because we realize that, hey, these movie stars are rich and famous and they're good looking and they're fit, but somewhere they're just as messed up or dysfunctional, or they're going through pretty much the same issues that the rest of us are. And lastly, I think that one of the reasons that I personally enjoy the show a lot is because no one is taking anything very seriously. I think Karan Johar has the ability to laugh at himself, his guests have the ability to laugh at themselves, and they know they're there just for a fun, light-hearted conversation. And I think honestly we need to just appreciate it for that. And not really put this burden of intellectualism on it.
So that's why Coffee with Karan is a thing. Whether you agree with his firebrand star power or you want to watch it to diss it, go ahead, catch the next episode and talk to us about it in the comments. We hope you enjoyed this episode. Please show your love by liking and subscribing to the podcast. You could also spread the good word and share it with a friend. I'm your host Rati Girish, and I will be back next week with another exciting episode of the TIC original podcast, How Did This Become a Thing?